Take a look at your life right now. I'm not talking about your highlight reel or what you tell people at dinner parties. I'm talking about the dark corners of your hard drive, the half-filled notebooks on your shelf, and the day one gym photos from 3 years ago that never turned into a day 30. You're living in a graveyard of unfinished projects. You have a dozen half-written articles, 3 abandoned side hustles, and a master plan for a YouTube channel that has 0 uploads. You've been told that you're lazy. You've told yourself that you just lack motivation or that you haven't found your passion yet. But as your mentor, I'm here to tell you that laziness is a myth designed to make you feel guilty without giving you a solution. The real reason you never finish anything is much more calculated, much more scientific, often much more dangerous. It's not a character flaw. It's a biological glitch. In the next 15 minutes, we are going to perform a forensic audit on why your brain is addicted to starting but terrified of finishing. I am going to show you why your current approach to goals is actually a form of self-sabotage, and I will give you a specific 4-stage completion protocol to finally kill the incompletion tax once and for all. If you are tired of being a starter and ready to become a finisher, pay very close attention. Your cycle of failure ends today. To understand why you quit, you have to understand the starting high. When you start a new project, whether it's a new diet, a new business, or a new hobby, your brain releases a massive surge of dopamine. This dopamine isn't coming from the work, and it's coming from the imagination of the result. When you buy the new gym clothes or register the domain name for your business, your brain feels like it has already won. You're experiencing the identity of success without having paid the price for it. This is the starting trap. Starting is easy, it's sexy, and it's socially rewarded. You tell people you're starting a new project, and they give you a congratulations hit of social validation. But here is the problem. Dopamine is a short-term fuel. It gets you out of the driveway, but it cannot get you across the country. As soon as the newness wears off and the actual work begins, the boring, repetitive, unsexy daily grind, the dopamine disappears. Your brain, which is now starving for its next hit, looks for a new project to start so it can feel that high again. You aren't lazy. So you are a dopamine addict who has confused the rush of starting with the reward of finishing. There is a specific psychological phenomenon that explains why your unfinished projects are actually making you dumber and more tired every day. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. This is the tendency of the human brain to remember uncompleted tasks much more vividly than completed ones. Your brain views every unfinished project as an open loop. Think of your mind like a computer's RAM. Every half-finished task is a background app that is currently running, sucking up processing power and draining your battery. Even when you aren't thinking about that abandoned blog or that half-painted room, part of your brain is still processing it. This creates a state of perpetual mental fatigue. You feel exhausted not because you're working too hard, but because you're carrying the weight of 1,000 open loops. This is the incompletion tax. It fragments your attention and makes it impossible to reach a flow state in your current work, because your brain is constantly refreshing the failures of your past. You don't need more motivation. You need a disk cleanup for your mind. One of the biggest lies we believe is that finishing is something that happens naturally if we just care enough. We think it's a result of passion, but in the world of high performance, finishing is not a feeling. It is a learnable, mechanical skill. It is a habit that must be built, just like lifting weights or learning a language. Most people have spent years practicing the skill of starting. You are an expert at day one. So you are a professional at getting ready. But you have 0 practice in the skill of finishing. You have never trained your brain to push through the dip, that middle period of a project where the excitement is gone and the results haven't shown up yet. Disciplined people don't feel like finishing any more than you do. They just have a different set of neurological tracks laid down. They have built the finishing habit by repeatedly forcing completion on small, insignificant things until their brain began to view done as the only acceptable outcome. You don't have a lack of talent, you have a lack of completion reps. So, how do we start building this skill? We use a framework I call the Minimum Viable Finish, or MVF. The reason you never finish is often that your definition of finished is too high. You start a project with a perfectionist narrative. You don't just want to write a book, you want to write a New York Times bestseller, you don't just want to start a YouTube channel, you want 100,000 subscribers by next month. When the gap between your perfect vision and your current reality becomes too large, your brain experiences identity threat. To protect your ego, your brain decides that it's better to not finish at all than to finish something that isn't perfect. The MVF kills this trap. Before you start anything, you must define the smallest possible version of done. If you're writing a book, the MVF is a 50-page rough draft. If you're starting a channel, the MVF is 5 uploaded videos, regardless of the quality. By lowering the finishing bar, you strip the project of its power to intimidate you. You give yourself permission to ship 80% perfect work. Remember, the market doesn't reward your intentions, it only rewards your output. An 80% finished project that is public will always beat a 100% perfect project that only exists in your head. To master the finishing habit, you need a tactical system. This is the 4-stage completion protocol used by the world's most productive CEOs and creators. Stage 1 is the scope lockdown. Before you begin, you write down exactly what finished looks like. No scope creep allowed. You do not add new features, new chapters, or new ideas once the work has started. You are a soldier following an order you gave yourself. Stage 2 is the incubation phase. This is the middle 60% of the project. This is where the dopamine dies and the dip begins. During this stage, your only goal is volume, and not value. You push through the boredom by focusing on the process, not the outcome. You stop asking, "Is this good?" and start asking, "Is this done?" Stage 3 is the finishing sprint. When you are 90% done, you enter a 24 to 48-hour sprint where this project is your only priority. You use your deep work zones to hammer out the final details. Most projects die at the 90% mark because we get distracted by the next new idea. The sprint ensures you cross the finish line before your brain can look away. Stage 4 is the public release. Completion is only real when there is an external witness. You must ship it, show it, or sell it. Until the world sees it, it is still an open loop in your mind. There is a deeper, more psychological reason why we avoid the finish line. Finishing is a form of judgment. And as long as a project is unfinished, it still has the potential to be perfect. It still represents your unlimited potential. But the moment you finish it, the project becomes a fixed reality. It can be criticized. It can be ignored. It can fail. For many of you, your unfinished projects are actually a defense mechanism. They allow you to tell yourself, "I could be successful if I just finish that." They keep your ego safe. Finishing requires the courage to be judged. It requires the courage to say, "This is the best I could do right now, and it is enough." To become a finisher, you have to kill the version of yourself that is addicted to potential and embrace the version of yourself that is defined by reality. You have to realize that a failed finished project is a much better teacher than a perfect unfinished one. That every done project is a brick in the foundation of your actual character. Every unfinished project is just a ghost in your attic. I want you to perform a disc cleanup for your life right now. I want you to make a list of every open loop currently running in your mind, every project you haven't touched in a month, every book you've been reading for a year, every course you bought but never started. Now, look at that list and do one of two things for every item. Finish it or kill it. If it's not worth a finishing sprint in the next 7 days, then you must officially kill the project. Delete the folders, throw away the notes, and tell yourself, I'm not doing this. This sounds harsh, but it is the only way to reclaim your mental RAM. By officially quitting the things you aren't going to do anyway, so you close the loops and stop the zygonic drain. You will feel a sudden surge of energy because you are no longer carrying the weight of 1,000 imaginary futures. You are finally free to focus on the one or two things that actually matter. Success is not about how many ideas you have, it's about how many ideas you execute to completion. In the USA professional landscape, ideas are a dime a dozen. Execution is the only thing that creates wealth, influence, and impact. You have to move from the starter identity to the finisher identity. A finisher is someone who values done more than perfect. A finisher is someone who knows that the middle of the project is a war of attrition, and they are prepared to win it. A finisher doesn't wait for motivation because they know motivation is a fair-weather friend. They rely on the 4-stage protocol and the minimum viable finish. When you become a finisher, your confidence will skyrocket. Not because you're successful yet, but because you know that when you say you're going to do something, it's already as good as done. You become a person of your word, and that is the rarest form of power in 2026. You are one physical action away from breaking the cycle. The starter in your head wants to finish this video and think about what projects to kill. The finisher in you is going to take action before this video even ends. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself in the comments below. What is the one project that has been an open loop in your life for more than 90 days? Name it, and then right next to it, write whether you are going to kill it today or finish it by next Sunday. No middle ground, no excuses. If you choose to finish it, your next step is to define your minimum viable finish for that project. I have built a specific roadmap for the action habit that shows you exactly how to build the momentum needed to cross any finish line. That video is on your screen right now. If you are ready to stop being a dreamer and start being a doer, watch that next. Subscribe to join the 1% who choose completion over comfort. The graveyard is full enough. It's time to start building your empire, one finished project at a time. I'll see you in the next one.